My name is Liza from Liza Loves Books, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday! If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you're not new here, welcome back. Today's video is going to be my November mid-month wrap-up, where I talk about all the books that I read in the first half of November, from November 1st to the November 14th. I'm filming this on Sunday the 13th. And the first few books I want to talk about, I did a video on them, so I'll link those videos down below. But the first two books I'm going to mention is a fan fiction stories from AO3. If you guys didn't know, I participated in the Fanfiction readathon, and I went into detail about those fan fiction. So I'm just going to tell you what those are about. But if you want my full thoughts, please go check out my fanfiction recap video down below in the description. The first fic I read was called The Wolf by Yokan. It is a Klaus and Caroline retelling. It's basically retells the story of the originals, but with Caroline as Klaus's love interest. Because if you watch the originals, you'll know that Klaus didn't really get a love interest and he died. So this is like an alternate universe where Klaus and Caroline are together. I've only read the first part, so I don't know what happens about the second part. But please watch my video of the fanfiction readathon. I'll link it down below in the description. The other fanfic I read was called 77 Wishes. This one I didn't like I liked it, but it got weird towards the end. This was about a Draco and Harry fanfic. They're in a BDSM relationship, and Harry becomes obsessed with Draco. I give it 3 stars. It got a little weird for me at the end because of a situation that happens. Again, I'll link my fanfiction recap video in the description if you want to know more about it. But I give 77 Wishes 3 stars. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I gave The Wolf by Yokan 4 stars. The next couple of books, the next 5 books I'm going to mention, I also did a recap video for. It's Calia Read's Surviving Time and Belgrave Dynasty. I did a whole explanation video about that series, but be warned, it is a spoiler. So if you I spoiled some stuff, but some stuff I kept a secret. I could not talk about it without giving a couple of spoilers. So if you want to know my in-depth thoughts about Calia Read Surviving Time and Belgrave Dynasty, please go watch my video. I'll link it down below in the description. But the first book is called Surviving Trace, and it's about a girl who gets sent back to 1913 when she sees a picture of a man. And when she gets sent back, her name is Serene, and when Serene gets sent back in time, she takes the place of a woman who looks exactly like her, but is married to the man in the picture. And she convinces the man that she is not his wife, and even though the guy's name is Etienne, and even though Serene is engaged to a person in our time, and Etienne is married to the other Serene, they fall in love, and it's their story. The first book is called Surviving Trace. The second book is called The Reading and the Rule. The third book is called Echoes in Time. Then we have a spin-off series about Etienne's siblings, his twin brother Livingston, and his younger sister Natalie. And that series is called the Belgrave Dynasty. Livingston's book is called The King of the South. It is a best friend sister romance. And the next book in that series is called Lady Guardian. It is about Etienne's younger sister and Etienne's best friend. Natalie's story is 2 parts. Only the first part is out right now, but the second part is coming soon. So if you want to know my full thoughts on those books, please go check out my video linked in the description. The next book I read is called the Whiteborn trilogy by the Whiteborn Protection Agency by M.A Grant. I read the first book last month, and I read the next 2 books this month. I'll put the picture here down below. I think the second book is called Crooked Shadows, and the third book in that series is called Intimate Dawn. I gave both books 2 and 3 3 stars. And what it's about Christian with a vampire and Atlas, who is his bodyguard. It's an romance. It's a bodyguard romance. I read this book because I saw Lacey recommended. Lacey from Lacey's Book Lovers. Lacey's Book Lovers. So I can't. So if you want a vampire bodyguard romance, check the Whiteborn Agency out. Yeah, but I gave both books 3 stars. The next book I read is called Captive by the Horde King by Zoey Draven, and it is and I don't know how to pronounce the names without the audiobook, so I'm not even going to try. But we have Luna. The female character's name is Luna, and her brother starts a fire in the village, and all of a sudden the Horde Kings and his men come to Luna's village, and they were gonna take her brother away, and she makes a deal with the Horde King and says, "Don't take my brother away, I'll take his place." So she goes with the Horde King in order to save her brother from dying. So she goes there thinking that she is just going to be his concubine, basically, that because she made a deal with him that he can do whatever he wants. But when she gets to his planet, he's like, "No, you're not gonna be my concubine, you're gonna be my queen." So it's their story, and it's about how Luna falls in love with the Horde King. I really like the audiobook. The narration is so good. Again, I read this book because Ava from Ava's romance books always talks about the series, and Jen from the Book Refuge, so I wanted to read the first book, and it's an alien romance, and I really liked it. So the next book I want to talk about is Across the A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. And it's the 4th book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses, and not a lot of people like it because they think it was boring and a pointless novella. But I really like this book because it is a setup for A Court of Silver Flames. It's a good setup for Nesta and Cassian's story, and that's all I'm gonna say about it, because if I say anything more, I'll spoil it. But if you read A Court of Thorns and Roses, you know what this book is about. So I really liked it upon reread. I reread it for the SJM along. The next book I want to mention is I read What Was Meant to Be by QB Tyler. And it is a dad's best friend romance, age gap, taboo, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It's about James and Whitney. James and Whitney were in a relationship when she was 18, but James breaks off his I think his name is James Prince. She calls him JP. But James breaks off their relationship and he goes to Doctors Without Borders, but when he finds out that Whitney is engaged, he comes back in Whitney's life, and he's going to win her back. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. And it was QB Tyler. So she's going to bring the steam and the tabooness. So please, it's part of the Blurred Line series. So if you haven't checked out What Was Meant to Be by QB Tyler, please check it out. It is also a second chance romance. Then I went down a rabbit hole of a QB Tyler book, because then I listened to Always Been You by QB Tyler. It is a adopted sibling romance. Gabrielle has always been in love with her adopted brother James, and she goes to college in New York, and let's just say one night when they're drunk, he finds out his feelings for her, and they begin a relationship. I give this book 3 stars, only because I really didn't think there was any consequences. Like, they just kept being together and being intimate, and their family really didn't explode the way I thought they would. They didn't have more of a problem with it than I thought they would. So there was really no consequences. And they had amazing physical chemistry, but I didn't get the emotional connection from them. But if you want a good time, read Always Been You by QB Tyler. And the last book I read, because all these booktubers told me to read it, is Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin, and I loved it. It is a very, very, very dark romance. It's about Bennett, who's a pirate captain. She's a girl, and she has a really dark past involving her parents' death, and she's married to another pirate, but I'm blanking on the name, but she's married to another pirate, and she finds a letter from his ex-lover. So she tries to, Priest. His name is Priest. So she finds a letter from Priest's ex-lover, and she tries to run away from Priest, and Priest chases after her. But her pirate ship gets captured by a pirate hunter named Ashley. And Bennett knows she has to do something, because Bennett knows Ashley is going to hand her over to the king. So Bennett tries to get Ashley to fall in love with her. And he does, but then there's this whole other situation with Priest Bennett's husband. So, and there is a twist involving their relationship. Bennett, priest and Ashley, there's a whole twist in the relationship, and I don't want to spoil it, but please read this book. I listened to the audiobook, and I tell you, Roxy Isles did an amazing job narrating this book. But please check your trigger warnings. It has sexual assault, infertility, torture. It is, I reiterate again, it is a dark romance, and I listened to the audiobook for Rick Appreciation Society, run by Jen from the book Refuge and Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life, and I'm glad I listened to the book because it was on one of my books to read before 2022 is over, so I'm glad I read that. Those are all the 15 books I read for the first half of November. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the videos I mentioned down below. Thanks. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.